Hello friends, I am Kanchan from Akulmach Technologies and welcome to our show. Today we are discussing about very important aspect of our mankind, that is social media and its effect. To discuss on this topic, we have Sitesh Srivastava, who has a deep interest in corporate training. He is closely associated with radio broadcasting. So welcome to the show, Sitesh. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Kanchan. And thanks, and talking to you after a long time. And how have you been?
Yeah, I'm fine, enjoying the northern winters.
Yes, and I can really understand that. And I miss winters. They have a special charm. And regarding the topic that we have chosen today, it is actually a great irony that we are doing this interview on a social media platform.
Very true. Very true. But actually, I had no other options because, we are living in COVID era. And of course, in India, we are expecting a lockdown very soon, I guess, if we really trust on the news which are coming up.
Mm, yeah. We have to be alert. But it's very important that we brought up this subject, Kanchan. Social media. I mean, that's something that which was started few years back, 6 to 7 years back, just to share things between friends and be on a real time sharing. Now, sharing has become something that has become a nuisance and a noise for many of us. And it is now keeping our brains active throughout the waking time and even sometimes in the non-waking times. And the amount of messages, information, planned messages, unplanned messages, good morning, good night messages, motivations, inspirations, suddenly the mind is never free. And a mind that is never free can it never think about something unique, something creative. And just to tell you, sometimes when I hear the interviews of our, some Bollywood actors, and they say, I have not watched this super successful film, and I keep thinking, this movie made 300 400 crore rupees, and in that industry, and suddenly the another peer star has not watched it. And that's something. Now I realize that we get affected, we get impacted by so much of information. And the idea is not about the information. The idea is that when we try to influence, when other media houses try to influence. So what are your views? What are your, how do you see it?
Now, I have heard that all problem arise when men sit alone. I mean, man or woman sits alone at home. So, but then irony is that we are sitting at home and we are using digital platform to communicate, to interact with people. Not only the adult population, but also children because they are ongoing classes through this digital media. But I feel that though it's a very essential and important aspect of currently taking a leap in future, but at the same time I feel that there are few things which are creeping in terms of depression and alienating from the society because we don't interact in a group now because there's social distancing aspect we have to take care. So I
So
think we need to detox sometimes, and how to do it. Let me know your ideas about on this. How we can do that.
so Yeah, so Kanchan, first of all, it is important to understand why the word has been used, the social media detox. It is not a real life, first of all. And probably our youngsters, millennials, children need to understand it. We saw the both sides of the world, Kanchan. the one life which was before this and one that we are into this. So we can actually go back and forth, but for the children, but for the students, but for the youngsters, but for the millennials. They have opened their waking up lives with these uh, social media sites, devices, gadgets, always surrounded around Wi-Fi. And therefore there is something that is missing, is the focus. Missing is to talk to anyone, and say that while I'm talking to you, can you look into my eyes while I talk to you? Or while you talk to me, am I listening to you intently? The word intently is something is completely missing. There was a Netflix original documentary, The Social Dilemma or Social Dilemma, and it explores the dangerous side of the social media. So, this onslaught, as you said, we are all sitting at home. I would say when we were not sitting at home, while driving, we have seen so many people on the phones. On two wheelers, inside the helmets of two wheelers, we have seen people talking on the phones. There are now special helmets which are built with those earphones where the phone has a jack to fit in. So we have taken it ourselves to the different level altogether. So there are benefits, and there are hundreds of things about benefit of it. But the why we have spoken about this, why we want to talk about this, is we want to make realize people about the facts. How many accidents happen while people travel and they do engaging on Facebook likes or Twitter or Instagram, sending SMS, receiving calls. And so important is to know the benefit, but also it is important to know the sliding part of it. And there are ways to do it, there are ways how to connect with the reality. Once we have to plan it out. It cannot be switched off today. We do go to our children and we see them, and we suddenly go and change the Wi-Fi password. It is actually very harmful to their minds. I have heard millennials, I have heard in offices, you can't just do this without informing. You cannot change the Wi-Fi password. So there is something that we need to understand it as a malaise, as a lacuna, as a human fallibility, and bring the drug in a small and a slowly paced way, and show the other side to the world, the real world, the real world. What do you say?
Yeah, you sounds like metrics actually, but then I feel so it's a starting point of digitization, and yes, we have to go a long way on this platform. But yes, there are side effects like a couple of times there's a misinformation. We have to believe in that because that's coming to social media. Then again, there are some sleeping disorders, which again we have to manage because we are part of this. And how to escape from this, I don't see any way out. I'll look forward for your suggestion. But what I feel is that if you want to really enjoy this digital platform, so you should deal or engage with this platform in a limited time, and rest of the time you should also get into some hobbies which you really wanted to do some time back when you were in school or colleges, but when you joined the job you were not getting time to do it. So now this is the time to really engage these hobbies and be creative in doing things, interact with your children because you have that time now to really which you are spending at home, so we have more time to engage with the children, which always used to crave when you were going to office. So I think these are few aspects we should take care. What do you say about these?
So, Kanchan, I read that make memories that you remember, not the ones that Facebook has to remind you of. And that is the crux of the matter. Today we have connected, we remember the birthdays, anniversaries of any, through our social media handles. And I would not just say it is only about Facebook, though Facebook has to take that in its stride, because being the largest social media platform. So how do we plan it out? We have to plan it out by doing a detox. We have to deactivate the account slowly. We have to understand the difference between deactivate and delete. So Facebook provides a deactivate option, then delete option is the next step. Twitter only allows for 30 days to restore a deactivated Twitter account, or it will get permanently deleted. Instagram only has temporarily disable my account. They should have something like a delete account forever. LinkedIn, we have to be really careful here. I know of people who have passed away from this world and still their profiles exist on LinkedIn, on Facebook. How do you go and tell them to remove that? Why do we need to see those records? There is no need for it. But you see, there is an alter social media also has come up, and which is actually worrying, because we have not studied the after effects on our brain on that. In Facebook, we see everybody is in a happy mood. Everybody is posting, happy pictures. But there are people who are also putting up the sad pictures of their personal lives. Then some people are going through personal loss. Many friends in that list, 1,000 friend list, 1,200 friends list, they don't know what is the personal challenge of people. And then they post happy pictures. Then there is an expectation for a like. Then they nowadays people post it on Facebook and they come back on WhatsApp and say, hey, did you check my Facebook post? So we are being always attacked. I would use the word attack. It is not easy to go for a detox. And I think people are doing it. They should be treated as heroes who are able to do it. So delete your apps. Know the triggers. In fact, there is something called, after you do the social media detox for 7 days, take a turn to think about it. What did you gain? Are you feeling rejuvenated? Do you have creative and curious ideas? Do you have a better way to connect with your friends? Some people are doing it for 30 days. And some people just go big bang, 1 year detox, and it affects them badly, because they now don't know what other people are posting about them. So, and each of these outlets, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and for kids now, WeChat, Snapchat, and there are many others. Each of them have their character. Each of them have a culture. Each of them have their specific fan following. Like TikTok, we saw. And of course, all the technology companies will only talk about good things. But there needs to be a coordinated study about the effects of too much of all these in our daily life. And detoxification has a benefit also. Reconnect with reality, improved mood. We have more time for our friends, family, as well as our corporate colleagues, and lose our competitive streak. And suddenly we see regain a sense of privacy. In today's social media world, privacy has become like just a concept or a commodity. We think we are doing private conversations, and therefore we say something and nowadays I'm also seeing, while seeing a WhatsApp message, people are also able to make, oh, it would have been said in a bad tone. I mean, how do you read a message and figure out the tone? Because the language has got mixed from English of United States, English of Britain, English of Indian subcontinent. We really cannot figure out what is the context, what is the tone. But we feel bad or good about it. So many misinformation, so many confusions are there despite being heavily connected. And for with the kids and millennials, when I talk to them about this, they use a word called FOMO, fear of missing out. And don't touch my Instagram. You have zoned me. Scene zone, fear of missing out. This is something much more like somebody is sitting in my room, in my hand, invisible, and yet controlling my mind, my behavior, my gesture, my body language, and my mood.
Yeah, I feel that whatever you have stated just now, it's very true. But I also feel that this digital platform will be here for a long time, because due to this pandemic, we can't go out, offices are not opening, schools are not opening. But then, of course, there's a way to detox yourself through this thing. I think it's more important to listen to your own feeling and then take a break, because you have to decide how long you should be on social media, how long you will benefit you, how long is enough for you, so that you don't miss out anything. So we have different platforms, and I think it's only all personal choice. But I will not include in this kind of detox in business or in education, because there we need a regular broadcast of lectures, or regular talking or presentation. So I feel maybe we have to really adjust according to the terms. I think it all depends individually, how individual feel about it, and if it's really harming, then again you have to take a call on that, right?
Yeah, I think you are right. You're right. But again, when and I don't talk in terms of in this conversation. I'm not talking in terms of corporate life, because every company decides their own social media usage policy, and they are well to define what they want to their employees to do and what they don't. My conversation is more around our personal choices, where we really do not have boundaries within our homes, within our family members, for the people who live alone, far away from their families, or who are completely alone. So there cannot be a standard. I agree to it. But at the same time, the amount of fake messages, amount of deep fake messages, and how to tell the youngsters where to stop, when to think. Today, if I have to tell something, they will first of all go and check on Google. So the spoken word is losing its, charm. And therefore, when it when we come talk about community, and I think therefore there is a lot of challenges and legal aspirations around controlling it. If people would have been really generous and disciplined about these social networks, we probably would not have so much of legislation around controlling them. We are seeing what is happening with the elections being rigged or manipulated. So I think, especially for the youngster side, as I said, me and you have seen the both sides of the world, Kanchan, before the social media and after the social media. It is our responsibility more to introduce our youngsters, children, about the other side of the world, which is actually more real than social media. And therefore, it is my earnest wish to the listeners and to everyone in the teachers community, in the social world, about what we try to forward it without knowing the details, and we really don't know other person how he or she is going to react to it, because we assume, oh, I thought it is not sensitive, right?
Yeah, so I think the summary of today's discussion is that we should detox ourselves from a negative platform, and we should learn and we should guide our young people to come out from a negative media. So it was wonderful talking to you, Sitesh, today. We'll meet tomorrow again with the next interesting topic. Bye bye.
Thank you. Appreciate that we use the social media for something really, really interesting for our youngsters.
Bye, Sitesh. See you.
Bye.